Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Do you remember when I told you that the Ukrainians will reject Russia's memorandum? Well, they just did. If you don't remember that one, you can go and watch these two videos on the 2nd and on the 3rd of June 2025. I clearly said, not only these ones, but in others, that the Russians will issue the memorandum and the Ukrainians will reject it. Why? Because the demands, the requirements, the terms of the memorandum and the terms of Ukraine's peace plan run parallel and equidistant. Remember, equidistant, they will never meet the same distance, always parallel. So we have here Zelensky who says, no, I'm not gonna meet, I'm not gonna have the memorandum, I reject it. But in the same time, he wants to meet with Putin. Since when this desperation? I think he feels his end is drawing near. But hey, let's look over this about 7 articles here. First one, from Associated Press. We always have to build credibility by quoting the credible sources like Associated Press, BBC, Deutsche Welle, Reuters, these guys, CNN. You build credibility in the eyes of YouTube, all right? But if you use, RIA Novosti or Pravda or Russia Today or Sputnik, you're gone. Or Al Jazeera even. All right, let's move. Associated Press. Zelensky rejects Russia's peace proposal, wants face-to-face talks with Putin. Oy vey, really? Now you want to talk to him? First, why would he talk to you? Putin never, up to about a year ago, never said he would not talk to Zelensky. Even now, he says, yeah, I could talk to Zelensky, but in what capacity exactly? Because according to Russia, Putin, to be more specific, Zelensky has no mandate anymore. His mandate expired last year in May, when Ukraine had elections. So according to the Russians, reading the Ukrainian constitution, he is the illegitimate ruler of Ukraine. So yeah, I can meet with him, Putin said, but his signature cannot be on any paper, legal paper. Why? Because along the line, no, they will come and say, well, this document, the agreement, the peace agreement was signed by Zelensky and Putin. But hey, we found something in our constitution now that says actually he was illegitimate, so that means it's void. So let's negotiate again. So the Russians will not fall for that. After all, they're smart. So let's move on to the desire here. Ukrainian president, because he's Ukrainian, they're always going to say Ukrainian president, not the president of Ukraine, Ukrainian president. It's like you always say, yeah, and my child is so smart, my child is so smart. That means you know your child is not that smart. If you keep emphasizing that, oh, he's so good at this, that means you have a doubt somewhere if you just start like that. So they always start like that, introducing him as a Ukrainian, said Wednesday that Russia's proposal for ending the country's 3-year war is not doable and repeated his call for face-to-face talks with Russian leader Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin said, I'm not going to meet with you now more than ever because you are designated as a terrorist. So you're a terrorist. We don't negotiate with terrorists. Remember the Americans? Do you remember what the Americans are doing to the terrorists? That whatever they designate as, they sent drones. Remember when Mr. Trump was so happy in his first mandate when he destroyed that general, the Iranian general in Baghdad, Iraq? Remember, he's so proud of himself. He considered that guy a murderer and a terrorist. So now maybe it's Putin's, and remember, that guy, al-Baghdadi, I can remember his name. I don't think al-Baghdadi was, but maybe. The guy was in a different country, in a sovereign country that we liberated and we brought democracy and freedom. So that Iranian evil guy was rolling in our liberated country of Iraq and we blew him up. So that means if Zelensky goes in Berlin or London, preferably, that means the Russians can return the favor, act like the Americans did. Since they designate those guys terrorists, now the Russians designate Zelensky as a terrorist. What's the difference? Oh, Zelensky is not a terrorist, you say? But the other guy was. Got it. All right, so let's move on. Putin doesn't want to offer these guys legitimacy. And I personally would really not meet with this guy for many reasons. I will explain. I explained it in other videos as well. So let's see what the Russians talk about this dismissal of their peace memorandum. Zelensky dismisses Russia's peace memorandum. 4th of June, Moscow has insisted that Kiev recognizes territorial losses and withdraw troops as a prerequisite for ending the conflict. That will not happen. He said Zelensky dismissal is an unacceptable ultimatum. I think it is. And I don't think Zelensky can do that. I think if Zelensky does that, the guys around him will send him to Moses. So let's move on. Zelensky rejects, again, this is from the Canadians, because I started with Associated Press just to make a little bit of trust, build some trust. Then I went to the evil guys right here, and then I'm going to these communists. The Canadian press, Zelensky rejects Russia's peace proposal once face-to-face talks to Putin. Who the fuck are you, Stein? All right, next. This is from PBS. PBS is a state media, American. PBS. Zelensky wants face-to-face talks with Putin. Putin says there's nothing to talk about after Ukraine's attacks. So, he is ready to do it. And this is what he says. How can any such summit meetings be conducted in such circumstances, said Putin. What shall we talk about? Putin asked in a video call with top Russian officials. He accused Ukraine of seeking a truce only to replenish its stockpiles of Western arms, recruit more soldiers, and prepare new attacks like those in Kursk, Bryansk. All right, so let's see. Ukrainska Pravda, the Ukrainians now. Credibility again. Putin calls Ukrainian leaders terrorists and is dubious about meeting with Zelensky. So, no, he's not dubious. He says exactly, what can we talk about it? These guys are terrorists, right there. Okay. Kremlin leader Vladimir Putin has accused the Ukrainian authorities of orchestrating recent explosions on railways in Russia's Bryansk and Kursk Oblast, describing them as planned terrorist attacks aimed at derailing the peace talks in Istanbul. He also questioned the feasibility of face-to-face meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Again, Ukrainian president, not the president of Ukraine. Never. But you see here, this guy is not the Russian. He's the Kremlin leader. He's the leader, not even a president, but the unelected guy right here, he's the president. Oh, fuck off. All right, so he branded, and not only, Putin referred to Ukrainian government as illegitimate and suggested that it is degenerating into a terrorist organization. Well, that's up to you. All the crimes committed against civilians, particularly women and children, on the eve of the last... Okay, so basically Putin says, not only that this, I made a video earlier regarding this, so go and watch it. I'm not going to go over that again. But he says basically these guys are illegitimate and now they're acting as terrorists. And it was Shahiba, okay, the foreign minister of Ukraine. That's Ukrainian. The only one in all that circle. And Budanov. Hey, by the way, where is Budanov? Where is he? He used to be every day over there telling us how fantastic he is without an arm. Anyway, so Shiba said, yes, if Russia doesn't stop the attacks, more terror to come. That's the definition, my boy. Anyway, those attacks on two bridges, destroying those bridges, and then you, obvious result, consequence, train derailed, that was a terrorist attack. However you want to turn and twist, that was a terrorist attack. Now, the attacks on the 5 Russian airfields was not a terrorist attack. That was a military operation. You can't describe it as a terrorist attack. It was terrorism. Oh my God, they're coming! But it was military target, 100%. So that's it. He says, no, I'm not going to meet this baboon because they are terrorists. And like Americans, we don't negotiate with terrorists. Next, Sputnik. Chance of Zelensky getting his 3-way summit, 0, after triple terror targeting Russia. Could I talk to you? No, fuck off. So Zelensky proposed that he, Trump, and Putin will meet like the greatest leaders on this planet. This is called paranoia? Is it called narcissism? when you have a very much inflated sense of yourself, your ego is, you think you belong there? First, we have to make a distinction between the Ukrainians and Zelensky, and Zmihal, and Yermak, and Umerov. Those guys are, okay? So make a distinction between this. So Ukraine, it used to be a big country. It used to have about 53 million people in 1991, I think, when it sprang. Now I don't know if it's about 20 million or whatever it is. But still, big territory is going to be cut and all that. But Ukraine is not an important country on this planet. Not. I mean, I'm sorry. Important countries maybe are 10. Ukraine is not one of them. Militarily, NATO. Okay, don't give me, for 3 years. For 3 years it was NATO versus Russia with using the Ukrainian blood. Right? So yeah, it has a big country. Yes, it has resources, none or more. And yes, it has grain. That's all. That's what else? Manpower gone. They got what? $3,000 GPA per capita? $3,000. I think right now is even less, even if the Americans pump the money in and they put it in the per capita. No, it's not like that. Anyway, so this is a country that's really not important. I mean, like Romania, like Poland, not important really. Countries are like Japan, let's say United States of America, Russia, China, India, Brazil. These are important countries. Germany, Great Britain, France, these are nuclear weapons. Israel, important countries. These guys are not. So he thinks he's going to show up, worm himself over there in a meeting like a worm, chick, 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 and say, not like that, that's a serpent, a snake. I mean, like this, like a worm, chick, 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 like a maggot. He's going to be over there, he's going to be like, and he's going to play like he's a tough guy. And the media will promote that. Why? The media is the same, Zmihal, Reznikov, Zelensky, Stein, and all these guys. So no, I don't think that would happen. And by doing that, these guys legitimize him as the president of a country that is fantastic. It's not. I think they are going the wrong direction. So let's go to the last topic, or the last article. Illegitimate Kiev regime turning into terrorist organization, Putin. So you got it, and he says here at the bottom, where is it? Right here. Despite this, he added, Ukrainian officials are requesting a pause in the fighting and proposing meetings at the highest level, and I'm quoting Putin. But how can such meetings be held under these conditions? What is there to talk about? Who conducts negotiations with those who rely on terror? With terrorists? Question mark. Power for the Kiev regime is apparently more important than peace, more important than human lives. Now, to be honest, to be straight, there's no army that I don't think, I take that back, except Israel's army. There's no other army that did not conduct war crimes. The Israelis never, are you an don't even dare. Okay, so everybody else committed. I mean, do you think that when these guys, let's say the Russians in the territory, found some Ukrainian POW that was working, fighting very hard, these guys did not, I mean, remember that case with the Ukrainian guys with the Slava Ukraina while drinking his coffee, smoking his cigarette, on the spot. Now that was a war crime. I mean, was ordered by Putin? No. Were those guys reprimanded? I don't remember that happened. That was a war crime right there. The guy did not pose any threat, did not put any pistol or anything like that. Just to give an example. The other ones committed, the Americans committed. They all but Israel. Got it? How do you like this? YouTube, will you allow my subscribers to be there and my views? Or are you gonna still use the algorithm to fuck me up? Huh? I hope I licked some ass here. Okay. Alright, my friends, so Putin will not meet this baboon, and if you meet this baboon, if he's gonna act like in the Oval Office, fuck off. This guy is before he was a clown to me. When I saw him, I said, whatever. And now he's an aggressive steroids infested guy. That's how I see Zelensky right now. He acts like he's on steroids, like really on drugs, that kind of drugs. Like he's very aggressive, very full of himself. I mean, he's full of himself because, Stein little aspect with a chutzpah, okay? And he should be. His boys are running the show. So nevertheless, so he acts very aggressive. Before he was not that aggressive. Right now he talks to Trump like that. Trump in the Oval Office, and he begs supposedly for the American weapons. Who's in charge? Is Zelensky in charge of the United States of America? Or the United States of America is the greatest country and the strongest country in the world? How do you allow this, I can't say the word, but it's a rodent, okay, to do like that, a wet rodent, and it just came out of the water like that. Jesus Christ, man. Here it is, no meeting, and Putin should not meet. I mean, he does whatever he wants. But, well, you want to invite him to meet him somewhere and he's going to behave like a prick? After you give him the legitimacy? This is what's going to happen to Zelensky. I think their first option, he will be blown up by someone. I think this is the, not option, the scenario. People around him or the Russians or the Brits will take him out when he's going to stop following the script because of the steroids, whatever you want to call them, be more precise, anabolic substances. That's the first option. Gonna fly with a helicopter, is gonna have a heart attack, is gonna be hit by an Iskander, something like this. Or MI6 is gonna just, all right. The second one is gonna be taken out, parachuted to London. Main stop is gonna be London, if not further to New York. That's it. The two options. No Monaco or something like this. He's going to be, you know what I mean. This is option one. if he goes to other place. Hey, meow, meow, did you bring a toy? The cat brought a string. Meow, meow. Yes, I hear you. Yeah. And the third one, he would be allowed to be in power. He would be like, how do you call it? Yes, meow, meow, yes. Like that guy, the reformed jihadist in Syria. He's going to be a reformed guy after he loses the war in Ukraine. He's going to be running again, and he's going to win or not win, but he's going to be revered as a president, and we're going to be rehabilitated. You know, he's not going to run to London. He's going to be rehabilitated, and everybody's going to look at him as a kind of a god, but he's legal, and the Russians will postpone Eichmann's, you know what I mean. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.